During Professor Curacho's discussion, he asked his students a question about their topic.
Okay, guys, good afternoon. Did you read your handouts?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, who can tell
Yes,
me what is
sir. Yes, sir.
the
Yes, sir.
birth date of our Dr. Jose Rizal?
Sir.
Sir, sir, sir,
Sir.
sir, sir,
Sir, sir, sir,
Sir, me.
sir.
sir, sir, sir.
Wait. Miss Datul, can you please off your microphone for a while? Class, if you want to recite, you can open your cameras and raise your hands or click the raise hand button. Instead of making noises, I can see you all in my monitor, so if any of you wants to recite, just raise your hands, okay?
Okay, sir.
So
Sir.
sorry, sir.
Okay, thank you. So who wants to answer the question? Okay, Miss Datul.
Rizal was born on June 19, 1861, sir.
Correct.
During an online class, whether it is in Zoom or Google Meet, if we want to recite, we can just raise our hands or click the raise hand button and wait until our professors call our names instead of opening our microphones and making some noises. Sergin saw John Kenon's post about COVID-19 and notices that it is fake and wrong information. So he decided to message John Kenon. Today, it is really important that before we post or share something in social media, we need to check first if the information is legit or fake. We need to make sure that our posts are from reliable resources. It is unethical to spread fake news and wrong information. A business partner, Mr. Curacho and Mr. Chavez, talking through Google Meet about the shortage in their company. Then suddenly, the phone of Mr. Chavez rang and answered it without saying an excuse to Mr. Curacho.
What should we do then? Our company is facing shortage because of this pandemic.
Hmm. We must think what can be the possible solution in our problem.
What if we close our other establishment to reduce expenses?
That's a good idea. We will close our other establishment with weak performance. Mr. Chavez, are you still there? Mr. Chavez?
What should we do then? Our company is facing shortage because of this pandemic.
Hmm. We must think what can be the possible solution in our problem.
What if we close our other establishment to reduce expenses?
That's a good idea. We will close our other establishment with weak performance.
Mr. Curacho, I have an urgent call. Can I excuse for a while?
Sure, Mr. Chavez, take your time.
In this scenario, we must know how to talk properly when we have an important call from other. Joyce called her two brothers through Google Meet and ask them what their plans are during this new normal. And then suddenly, Shin interrupts their conversation and talks about something that is out of the topic. So, what are you guys planning to do in this new normal?
Hmm. I want to enhance my skills in cooking and focusing on it.
That's great. How about you, Shin?
Have you heard the latest news in social media about the newest shoes? I really want to buy it for my collection.
Shin, we're talking about our plans in new normal.
Shin, please be participative and think of the possible effects of your actions.
Joyce is right. We're talking about our plans in new normal and you dare to still thinking the new issues.
We're still on pandemic, Shin, and be practical on your expenses.
Whatever.
So, what are you guys planning to do in this new normal?
Hmm. I want to enhance my skills in cooking and focusing on it.
That's great. How about you, Shin?
I've seen a latest shoe on social media, but instead of buying that, I use my money to buy some groceries and needs from my baking lesson.
That's great, Shin. You're being practical and cooperative now. And that's good.
When we are free, let's have some bonding together.
I
I
would
would
love that. We should learn how to talk properly and be participative in our discussion or important conversations. The two hosts, Mr. Curacho and Miss Datul, is having a break time and talking about the ethical behavior in Google Meet. And then suddenly, the reporter came out of nowhere to know what the topic is without proper way of asking. Have you already known the ethical behavior and how it will use in us?
Yes, I already know that actually explained that to our fellow hosts to avoid miscommunication when they are hosting.
That's good. In that way, we will know how to use it. Then suddenly, the reporter speaks very loud in the two hosts asking what is their topic. The two hosts is shocked because of shouting.
Yo! What are you talking about? You can share that with me.
Next time, make sure you ask both of us properly. You don't need to shout in your microphone.
I agree.
Just say your topic.
Have you already known the ethical behavior and how it will use in us?
Yes, I already know that actually explained that to our fellow hosts to avoid miscommunication when they are hosting.
That's good. In that way, we will know how to use it. Then Chavez opened his cam and microphone and asked calmly to the host because he's interested on what he heard.
Hi guys, can I ask your topic? It seems interesting. Can I join?
Oh, sure, Chavez, you can.
We were talking about ethical behavior.
Oh, that was really interesting.
Yeah, I agree, but let's talk about that next time because our program will start in a moment. As a reporter, we must need to have a respect when we are asking other people. While Mr. Chavez is having a discussion in Google Meet, Miss Datul looks uninterested so that she's using phone while the professor is explaining.
Alright guys, what is your opinion about the ethical behavior? Anyone?
Mr. Curacho raised his hands.
Yes, Mr. Curacho.
For me, sir, ethical behavior is how you show respect and treat them fair.
That's right.
Mr. Chavez saw Miss Datul using phone while in the middle of the class.
Miss Datul, why are you using your phone? Did you know what I discussed?
No, sir, I'm not focusing on listening on our lesson.
Next time, listen first. It is for your own because you can use this every time. Alright guys, what is your opinion about the ethical behavior? Anyone? Yes, Mr. Curacho.
For me, sir, ethical behavior is how you show respect and treat them fair.
That's right. How about you, Miss Datul?
Sir, for me, ethical behavior can teach our mind to treat others in a good way and know how to respect the other people. We should know how to talk to our professors with respect and avoid distracting the class. This group of friends is having a conversation in Google Meet about being bored in their house during pandemic. One of them wants to go in the mall and invited his friends to join with him. So guys, what's your plan? We're stuck in our house.
It's for our safety, so that's okay.
It's so boring. What can we do?
Do some household chores and have a bonding with your family.
Oh, I have an idea. Let's go to mall. Datul, do you want to join?
Sure, why not?
How about you, Chavez?
No thanks. I'm fine in our house. Even if it's new normal, we should be careful on our action because we're still in pandemic.
We must know the consequence of our actions and why we need to follow the health and safety protocols. While Professor Datul explains their topic about PE, students were talking to each other and Miss Datul was just ignored them. She just let her students make noise until Miss Datul can no longer hold her temper. That's why she gave a quiz to her students. So, class, I will give you a quiz before we finish our lesson today because you made too much noise. Chavez realizes that if a professor is discussing the lesson, students must learn to listen. Curacho is also wondering how to answer the quiz because he didn't listen to the discussion. If you guys just listen to my discussion, I will give you time to review your notes to answer the quiz. Professor is explaining. Learn to listen first before you speak so the class will not be disturbed. Also, learn to respect your professor and your classmates if she or he is talking and explaining the lesson. Chavez posted his product on social media to earn money so that he can buy his family's needs. Curacho messaged the seller to ask how much the price of Chavez product is. Chavez already called Lala Move to deliver the product to Mr. Curacho. After 1 hour, the Lala Move driver called Mr. Curacho but he never answers the call. But the bad news is, Mr. Curacho never answered the calls of Lala Move driver, and the driver realizes that Mr. Curacho is a scammer or a bogus buyer. Chavez called Mr. Curacho but he never answered the calls. So Chavez just left a message to Mr. Curacho. Joyce saw Curacho's phone and she read the message. Joyce got disappointed because Curacho ordered the product and didn't receive it. Today, it is hard to believe that many people are still doing these things. Let's learn how to be a good person to others, because if one day these things happen into your life, you will realize the pain. Chavez, a Grab food driver, wants to earn some money to pay the existing balance of his motorcycle. Joyce ordered 3 sundaes and 3 spaghettis in Jollibee through Grab food delivery. The next day, the Grab food driver still continued his job. After he parked his motorcycle in front of Jollibee, he got received an order. Mr. Curacho ordered 5 chicken joy and 4 sundaes. After 30 minutes, he delivered the food safe to Mr. Curacho. He did smile at him, even though he is late. He understands about the traffic matter and still appreciates the GrabFood rider's effort to deliver orders. We must learn to wait because life should not be rushed. Be patient, be understandable, and learn to appreciate riders' hard works because their job is not easy. And there's too many danger in the middle of the road. Don't be rude to them as long as they are communicating well to you.
Good morning, everyone. So our group will discuss about simple tips to every student who uses Zoom and Google Meet during their online classes. So in this topic, we will learn about how to be presentable, how to sit properly, what should be the background of the student during class. Fourth, what to avoid. Fifth, how to behave ethically. And the last one is how to properly approach your professors through message or in chat or text message. So the first one is how to be presentable. Of course, during classes, students must wear formal attire like this so that the teacher and of course your classmates can focus on the discussion. Second, how to sit properly. Of course, we need to lean our back in order for us to be presentable and to avoid some injuries or muscle pain, back pains, etc. The third one is what should be the background of the student during the online class. Of course, students' background need to be look presentable as much as possible, like there's no dresses hanging up in the back, and of course, the background should be quiet so that the student can focus to his or her classes. And what to avoid? Of course, we need to avoid going on other sites during our classes and avoid doing unnecessary things that is not included to your classes. And the fourth, which is how to behave ethically. When the teacher is talking, avoid interrupting him or her during in the middle of his or her class so that the discussion will be spontaneous and avoid answering in chorus. You should raise your hand and if you want to talk or answer. The last one is how to properly approach or message your professors in chat, email, or through text message. So, the right thing to do is to construct a formal excuse letter and submit it to your teacher or professors. Please, guys, avoid saying like, "Sir, I can't attend to your class. I'm sick and I'm lazy to attend your class because I feel like I can't focus." Guys, that's wrong. You should um, compose a formal excuse letter that's saying like, "Dear name of your professor, sir, I just want to inform you, sir, that I can't attend to your class because I'm not feeling well. Hoping for your kind consideration. Thank you." Kenon. And send it. That's easy. And as a college student, we must know how to excuse ourselves in the class formally. So I hope you learned something and thank you everyone for listening. Good morning everyone. My name is Josie Doronila and I'm here to discuss with you the safety protocols and safety tips that our government proposed during this pandemic. So, as what we can see, we are experiencing right now a huge crisis that is not just experienced here in the Philippines but also in other countries, which is the COVID-19 or the coronavirus disease. Safety protocols are the steps that we need to follow during this time to help our frontliners, our fellow countrymen, and of course the government to lessen the burdens that they're carrying since this crisis started a year ago. So, as per the DOH, we need to use our face masks. This one is a surgical face mask, and you can choose between the cloth one or the surgical face mask. Our face shields, and of course, don't forget to bring also your alcohols, and disinfect yourselves before entering your house in order for us to be safe and, of course, our family and the rest of the community. By following the health protocols, we can lessen the number of the affected persons because of the COVID-19. That's all. Thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you learned something from me. Keep safe everyone, and God bless us all.